welcome to the show, Jillie and Thomas Simon. They are the filmmakers behind Hungry, which Hungry is. Let's get a good look at both of you. Hey, how's it going today?
Hi.
Hey, how are you? How are you both?
Thank you so much for having us on.
Good meeting you.
Thank you for being on the show. I appreciate you showing up early. That is, if you ask anybody who works in entertainment, one of the things you can do to guarantee at least some level of success is just be on time. Just be on time, show up early. 15 minutes early is on time in my book. Your short film, Hungry, I kept scrolling. I can't count the number of awards it's won. Countless awards at film festivals. First of all, tell us a little bit about the story of Hungry. And then I want to talk about how did this movie secure so many awards at festivals? And brilliant shirt there, Thomas. That looks amazing. Fan of the Clash. Tell us the story and how you were able to secure so many festival accolades.
Well, it's based on something true that was happening. Was in that teachers, a couple of teachers around the country were finding out that students in their classes were going hungry because of the cuts to the SNAP program in the Farm Bill. So a couple of teachers paid out of their pockets so that their kids could have something to eat and not be like, going hungry throughout the day at school. So Thomas showed me those two little articles, and I thought, well, that's a topic that I, think is really important to shine a spotlight on, and a character that I'd love to play. So Allison is, she's idealistic, but she is shy in front of people of power. Like she has no problem talking with her kids, but she has this shyness, a little fear of talking to people in power. And she finds out that kids are going hungry. She pays out of her pocket to help them, and didn't realize she had like nothing left in her account. That she maxed out her and her husband's account when they go to get groceries. And then she looks it up, and she finds out that 250,000 kids around the country are going hungry, and she determines she has to do something. And she finds out that her congressman, which is the role that Eric Roberts played beautifully, is going to be in town. And so the next day, so she has to go and try to, get him to do something to help the children. So that's
well. First of all, I mean, all of our schools are going through troubled times at the moment, and the fact that people are going hungry in America is just, it's unconscionable. I mean, I remember growing up as a kid and having my grandmother say, eat all your food. There are kids starving in China. Now I think it's the other way around. There are kids starving in America, and it's really sad to see. I love Eric Roberts in. I'll admit I haven't seen the film, but I did see the trailer. I love Eric Roberts. I did a show, an internet show with him briefly. He is totally real. Right. His wife is his manager. You have to deal with his wife as the manager.
Yes. It was fantastic. We had them come down, for the shoot. Like, we flew them in from Toronto, and he gave it his all. He even put himself up. He had a friend, he stayed at a friend's house. He really worked with us.
Because they care about kids' causes, both of them.
They read the script. Right.
Well, let me ask you this. I interviewed Eric about 2 years, right before the pandemic, actually. And I asked him that question: How does an indie filmmaker get Eric Roberts in their movie? How did you get him to ultimately join your production?
Well, as an actress who worked for years in New York, I knew a lot of people, and so for all the rest of most of the rest of the roles, I thought of people who I knew, had worked with, was friends with, and for that role, I put it out on the breakdown services. So I put a casting call out to the agents and managers, and
for a name actor.
As you know, Eliza, acts as Eric's manager, and she must have seen it, and she thought that was something that they would, both be very interested in. So they asked for the script, and after they read the script, he was in. Yeah.
Oh, that's great to hear. I also happen to know that Eric Roberts likes weed. Let's not look. You can't sugarcoat it. He's a fan. He is definitely a fan of the green, and I'm not talking about money. And he is a good person at heart. He's not like a lot of the dangerous characters that you see him play often. But we have a lot of we've got like 700 people watching live on YouTube right now. I have a lot of people in the chat with comments and questions. Can we get to some of these comments and questions about the film? And tell us before I forget, where can people see Hungry?
They can go to hungry.movie. It's streaming on Amazon Prime and Vimeo on demand. So if you just go to hungry.movie, you can find the links are right there.
All the info, everything, all the whole lowdown is there.
Thank you for the question about we won 19 awards in 35 festivals. So we were
That's crazy.
Honored. Yeah.
Well, it might be a good movie. It just might. Let's go to some of these comments. There's a lot of comments and some questions here. Imperfect says local schools here continued their free lunch program even during lockdown. Max Headroom says Eric Roberts is best of the best good martial arts flick. And here's a question here. 200 Watt Studio says, is your wife single? I'm gonna guess. Well, then there you are. And look, it's a question. Brad says the Clash is awesome.
She's super hot.
Yeah. Well, you're a lucky man. So there you go. Eric Roberts is great. Says Chet's mom hey, shout out Chet's mom. I know where you are. In the Big Mitten. Wookie Fodder says I'm hungry right now. Kavita Duckworth says, any plans to follow up Hungry?
I actually did have some people asking me about making a series of it where Allison goes on all these other adventures and, takes on other things. And because people really love the character, and I love the character, but I did explore that, but I ultimately put it on the shelf. And right now I just actually last week started writing something new, but meanwhile, we're going to be we just started pre-production for a new short. Since we didn't have a feature script, we're going to do one more short. And
our current short, A Chance, is still in the festival circuit.
Oh yeah, it's playing your area. It's playing LA at the
Regal LA Live.
At the Regal LA Live on April 21st.
At the Beyond Hollywood International Film Festival.
Oh, that's good. Congratulations. Solomon Thornton asks, how did you budget the film?
How did we budget it?
We finalized the script and we cast it, and we got the locations. We kind of we wanted to make this film to showcase who we are. Jillie's an actor and writer, and I'm a musician.
Brilliant composer,
editor. I've done a bunch of documentaries, feature films, soundtracks, but not. It's basically a calling card for what we do. And
so we kind of we saw how much each thing was. There was a couple of locations that one in particular, the where the gala scene was I guess our biggest expense. Mm-hmm. And Thomas does all the post-production, like editing and of course the sound design and the music. Yeah. So we had a lot of that. So we just kind of saw what was needed and self-funded with what we had saved up for.
Right.
So a lot of what you would call sweat equity,
Yeah.
A lot of sweat equity. Let's see. Here's another question here. Hidden Hand Media says, why the hell aren't parents giving their kids food? So this is a real problem in certain parts of America, which is embarrassing to say.
Yeah. I mean, there's 4 states that have now, like Minnesota, just gave enough funding for free lunch for kids who need to be in school, K to 12. And that's the fourth state. We have all these other states who could, you know, catch up and help out and you know, do the humanitarian thing and not let kids go hungry, which makes them then not be able to focus, not be able to learn, you know, like they can fall behind, they can fall asleep, you know, I mean, families are going through very hard times
economic
right
issue.
now.
You know, a lot of farmers, they have multiple children, you know, like the income, or like one of the parents go unemployed, falls in hardships, and they need these kind of programs to fill in like the gaps.
I mean, I'm sure that every story is different. Every family that's struggling has their own struggle, which, you know, we know some of them, some of those struggles, like Thomas just mentioned.
A couple last questions before we wrap up our show here. 200 Watt Studio has a comment for 5. Looking forward to the film. I met Eric once. He's very present and attentive. Congratulations on your success. Thank you, 200 Watt Studio. And our final question here, I think, is a fun one. The Nerd Far Away, who's a member, thank you for that. Obviously, Thomas likes The Clash. Jillie, who's your favorite band?
Well,
and by the way, your husband's a musician. I just want to point that out. So.
I mean,
besides our bands, like band was Love Alien, our second band, Musiciens Sans Frontières, and his current project is Thomas Simon Vortex. But
I'm actually touring. I'm playing the Whiskey A Go Go on June 8th. Come out.
I adore Nirvana, and I adored Nirvana, and I adore Peter Gabriel. And I was so excited because the last song we wrote, which was in 2021, we have Jerry Marotta playing the drums on it, and he is, you know, Peter Gabriel's the drummer on a couple of his
major songs, yeah.
Major albums. The one with the face, Peter Gabriel, the face melting off, you know, Intruder, all that stuff. That's Jerry Marotta. And
but we grew up in the 90s, you know, like Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins, Nine Inch Nails, you know, name it. Moby.
But if you want to hear that new song, it's called Save Our Planet. And it's
yeah, go endorphinrecords.com, and you have all kinds of albums, all kinds of links to music and our works, what we do across the music and film industry.
And we can save our planet without blowing anything up.
Yes, I know.
And connect on Instagram at Jillie Simon,
at Jillie Simon
or at Thomas Simon Vortex.
Cool. All right. I want to thank you both for being on the show today. You were great. The movie Hungry, go to hungry.movie.
Right.
Is the website. It's on Amazon Prime. It's on Vimeo On Demand. Thank you so much for being on the show today. Oh, wait, there's one last comment here. 200 Watt Studio for 5. Does Jillie ever get that she looks like Mary Steenburgen? Oh.
Yes.
I guess I did once. Yeah.
Yes, you do. Now I was like, you look so familiar. And oh my God, that's great. Well, thank you, 200 Watt Studio, and thank you both. You're both amazing. Congratulations. Whiskey A Go Go in June 8th. So follow on
for Spread Eagle. It's going to be a great show.
All right. Well, follow them on Instagram. It's Jillie Simon, Thomas Simon on Instagram. Find the movie hungry.movie. Thank you again for being on the show and telling us about your film.
Thank you so much.
Take care.